Hi, everyone. My name is Laura Cahill. I'm a Director of Human Resources, and I would like to welcome you to the Worcester Public Schools. Our Superintendent, Dr. Rachel Menares, has also recorded a welcome video.
Well, hello, new faculty and staff. My name is Rachel Menares, and I'm the proud superintendent of Worcester Public Schools. I'm so pleased and excited to welcome you all here today. Every single one of you has joined our team because you are passionate about improving the lives of our scholars and families. You're here because you believe in every one of our scholars and their ability to succeed. In the Worcester Public Schools, we work collaboratively to ensure all our youth are future ready with the skills and dispositions when they graduate from our high schools. We want our scholars to be problem solvers, curious learners, empowered individuals, effective communicators, and engaged community members. Our teachers and staff are caring and culturally competent. We keep growing in this area. They're professionals who embrace the diversity and the belonging of all our children and families. And we know that regardless of your role, whether you're a classroom educator, one of our fabulous bus drivers, or one of those who really make sure our children have the food they need, our food service workers, each and every one of you has the potential to have a positive impact in the lives of our children. Something as simple as a smile in the morning and saying hello can really change someone's day. And of course, there's going to be days when the work is not easy. That's okay. What we ask you to do is that remember that we are one family in the Worcester Public Schools. We're here to support and uplift one another as a team. So don't be afraid to ask questions. Be sure to include others in your decision making. And I hope you're excited as I am to start the new school year. We have so much to look forward to, and we have so many brilliant young people to teach, engage, and lead. So welcome to the Worcester Public Schools, where we like to say, from here, anywhere, together.
You all have access to this slide presentation, so I just want to show you that any information that's underlined, if you click on it, it will take you out to more information hyperlinked. So next, I want to share some information about your payroll and your sick bank, two really important topics. The payroll office did link out a slide presentation about how payroll works. I'm not going to go through the whole slide presentation here. I'll just summarize for you, and you can click on that and take a look at it if it's something you're interested in reading more about. Essentially, you will receive 26 paychecks over the year, every 2 weeks, even though you are technically not paid for June and July when you are not working. So we know educators work from September to June. But what we do is we take and stretch that pay out over 26 paychecks, so you're guaranteed a consistent paycheck every 2 weeks throughout the year. This particular link right here shows the dates that you'll be paid throughout the year. So that's a spreadsheet. It shows people who are paid bi-monthly, people who are paid bi-weekly, and then people who are paid weekly. So you know that if you get 26 paychecks, it's every other Friday. There's also a lump sum option. So the payroll office at the end of, usually around the end of May, they'll send an email out to the whole district, and they will ask who is interested in receiving their 4 summer stretch pays in one lump sum at the beginning of July. So that's an option that some people like, and other people opt to continue receiving a paycheck every 2 weeks. So just be aware that that's an option, and you will get an email about that before the summer starts. We also want to give you information about the sick bank. So as you probably know, you earn 15 new sick days every year. And any sick days you don't use get rolled over into the next year, and they accrue up until 200. So the maximum number of sick days you can roll from one year to another is 200. But when you're early in your career with the Worcester Public Schools, you may not have a large number of sick days. And if something happens, you need to take a parental leave or you have a medical event, you may not have enough sick days to do that. So we have something called a sick bank. All employees starting with this year, 2023-24, are automatically enrolled in the sick bank. So what happens is you receive your 15 sick days at the beginning of the school year, and then you essentially automatically donate one to the sick bank. If you or another member of the sick bank has an event or situation where you need additional sick days, you can fill out the application that you see at this link here. And then a panel of your peers will review your application and decide, whether to approve that application for additional sick days. So this is a really amazing benefit because it's not always that we have enough sick days when something comes up unexpected in our lives. So it's entirely up to you whether or not you want to opt out. If you do, you would choose this link and fill out the form, and then you'll continue to receive your 15 sick days a year. But just know that you are automatically opted in to donate one every year to the sick bank unless you fill this out. Anytime you may have a reason that you need to take a leave of absence, Human Resources has a specific email address that you can see here, hrleaves@worcesterschools.net. So any concerns about needing to take a leave of absence, if you email that address, someone will get back to you. Next, I want to explain some information about your benefits to you. Some of your benefits are provided by the Worcester Public Schools, some are provided by the City of Worcester, and some are provided by the state of Massachusetts. So the Worcester Public Schools adheres to the Family Medical Leave Act, and we've linked out information there for anyone who needs to take a leave. We don't provide paid family medical leave only because your sick days do accrue, and we have the sick bank option. So that's how you would continue to get paid if you needed to take an extended leave. But there's more information about the Family Medical Leave Act there. I did link out again the hrleaves@worcesterschools.net email address so that you definitely have access to that and you know where to find it. The Worcester Public Schools also, in conjunction with the City of Worcester, sponsors an employee assistance program, which is for mental health and wellness. So that is linked out to more information there. The City of Worcester provides your medical, your dental, the employee assistance program, the mental health and wellness, supplemental retirement plans, such as a 403B, if you wanted to supplement the retirement that you'll get as part of the state retirement system. Other things, voluntary benefits. I know that they offer pet insurance, they offer short and long-term disability leave and other benefits. So I did link out to you the City of Worcester benefits page. They do insist that questions that you have around the benefits that they provide are directed directly to them, to their office. So you can either do that by calling, by emailing, or going to City Hall to the benefits office. They don't want us, HR, Worcester Public Schools, giving you the wrong information. So they ask that if you have questions about benefits, to please contact them directly. And then, of course, the Massachusetts Teacher Retirement System is a benefit of the state of Massachusetts. So I did link that out to you there. The Educational Association of Worcester, often called the EAW, is the union of all educators in the Worcester Public Schools, teachers and paraeducators as well as a few other groups. The president is Melissa Verdier, and her email is linked right here. She's excellent about returning information to people who email her and ask. The EAW website is linked here. The office staff there is excellent about returning phone calls and emails if you have any questions. And you will be receiving information from the EAW about signing up and participating in events and so on. Next, I want to share some important information about teaching and learning initiatives that'll be new to the Worcester Public Schools this year. I'm going to start with a video. So if you noticed in that video, there was a lot of active learning being done in the classroom by students. Students were acting as leaders in the classroom, and they were generating discussion and working alongside their teachers. The district is doing a lot of work on high quality instruction for our students. So I want to share with you 3 documents that will tell you a little bit about the work that's coming our way in the 23-24 school year. The district has been working on a vision of a learner for the last several years, really. In the past, it's been called Portrait of a Graduate. So if you're familiar with that terminology from another district. And we really took that concept of what do we want students to know and be able to do as they graduate to what do we want students to know and be able to do starting in kindergarten and working up. So the vision of a learner was developed over several months with all stakeholders, teachers, administrators, students, families, community members, and it's resulted in this framework and implementation plan. So I just want to show you a couple of details about this particular document. So we saw the skills and dispositions at the end of the video. The goal is that all of our students in every grade level have an opportunity to be problem solvers, curious learners, empowered individuals, effective communicators, and engaged community members. As we scroll down to one of the skills and dispositions, problem solver, we can see how the district has laid this out almost similar to your content area standards. So one indicator, problem solver 1, inquire and develop an understanding of a complex problem. Here it creates or it adds some I can statements by grade bands. So, for example, in K-1, students might say, I can ask relevant questions to further explore a topic or experience with relation to this particular indicator. In high school, we would expect that students can develop clear and precise questions to investigate the root causes of a complex and authentic topic, problem, issue, experience, need, etc. So each of the skills and dispositions are laid out the same way. You'll start to see the vision of a learner in your school meetings, potentially PLCs and other things, PDs that you go to. So you're going to start to dig into it with your colleagues and with your school leadership and get to know this document, a lot more over the coming months. The Office of Educational Technology is going to be working with a group of teachers called Spark teachers across the district who are going to try operationalizing a lot of these standards and then sharing out their lesson plans and videos of their lessons so that all of us across the district can see what these skills and dispositions actually look like in real Worcester Public Schools classrooms with Worcester Public Schools budgets and Worcester Public Schools students, and so on. So we can start to build on these ideas together. So this is an ongoing effort, but we wanted you to be aware that this is a guiding document for our work going forward. Taking a look at the next document, we have the framework for instruction. So for many years, we had a document called High Quality Teaching and Learning, which was essentially a chart or list of things that teachers could and should be doing in the classroom to make sure that we're supporting all students. So taking that idea, the district again brought teams of people together to build out this framework for instruction. So there's a couple of pieces of this I'd like you to just be aware of. It goes through how this was built and what the concepts are around, forming high quality instruction. It references the vision of a learner, of course, because all of these pieces are working together. And it talks about the phases of instructional practice. So it talks about how high quality teaching starts with planning. And then there's the teaching phase. There's the assessment phase. And there's the adaptation phase of the learning. So you'll have a chance to take a look at this. It's linked out in the slides. So take a look at it and you'll be familiar with it when your schools start to work with it. It also includes a piece on the culture of belonging, which is something the superintendent referenced in her video, and how we go about making sure that everyone feels safe and welcome in our schools, our classrooms, in the district. And then lastly, I just want to point out to you that this page 9 is really, really helpful because it has a lesson structure in it. So the idea that not every lesson is going to follow this like a formula, but that we've broken down those critical components to a lesson and about what percentages of the lesson that might be. So of course, the planning all happens prior, and then there's an activation of knowledge, modeling, interactive practice, learning application, and wrap up. So we hope that you start to see these documents as really helpful, supportive documents, but just know that you're going to be digging into this as a school, as a grade level, as content area teams, and we'll all be doing work on this as we go. It's new to the district, and we're really looking forward to taking on this challenge. The third document is our existing multi-tiered systems of support document. This is for your information, just to take a look at, and it lays out the processes and procedures that we have to ensure that all students are supported academically and emotionally as they go through, every single day here in the Worcester Public Schools, and what we do to make sure that we're supporting students as they meet the different challenges that all students meet across their time with us. So take a look at those documents and you'll be familiar with it and get a little bit of a leg up because they're being introduced to the district at large at the beginning of this school year. Next, I want to share with you some resources that might be helpful to you as you go forward, just knowing more about the district. This district org chart was created by Iko Abercrombie, who is a director of recruitment and cultivation here in human resources. And essentially, a lot of times school staff will say, we have no idea who all the people are. Who do we contact? Who does what? So she created a slide presentation that goes through the organizational chart, starting with the school committee to the superintendent, and then the superintendent's cabinet, and so on. So this may be a helpful link to you. It will continue to be built out as new people are hired, names will be added, and eventually all of the schools will be included with principals, assistant principals, and so on. The next resource I want to share with you is the WPS website. So we have a main website where a lot of families go for information. There's a lot of information for teachers as well. Our website is in the process of being redesigned, and that information and that announcement will be rolled out from the communications office in the coming weeks, months. But for the meantime, I just want to give you a quick tour of the website. Two places that teachers really find helpful. There's a link right here at the top for schools and programs. So when you click on that, it opens up all of the schools listed. So you can click on it to find out the start times of the school, the name of the principal, and any other information that's shared out there. The other place that might be helpful for you to check out is the About tab. Under About is a link to departments and offices. So you may not realize how many departments and offices the Worcester Public Schools has, but you can, if you have interest in curriculum and professional learning, you can click on that link and it will take you out to their page and give you more information. The last resource I want to show you is a bit more interactive. Human Resources has a digital employment portfolio that we push out as a template, and it's for all of you as new staff to use. So when you click on the link, it's a Google Doc template link. So what it does is it takes you out to an image of the doc, and in the upper right corner, if you click Use Template, it will create a brand new copy of this document for you. So at the top of this, in the header, it says, after creating your own copy from this template, please rename it with your last name, comma, first initial, employment portfolio, and email it to hr@worcesterschools.net. So I want to explain that to you a little bit. We are not checking off names. We are not chasing you down for this. You're not getting graded on this. We're not going to withhold anything from you if you don't turn this in. But what this does is it's a two-way communication between each employee and Human Resources. And it gives us a place to track some things that you do throughout your career. So I want to show you some of the details of this document that you'll fill out after you make your own copy. Of course, your name. And you can put your WPS employment ID, your title, location, and your start date. I can't tell you how often you're going to need your employee ID and how often you need to locate your start date. So anytime you do anything in School Spring, it's important that you have a lot of this information written down so that you can go in and fill in and update your School Spring efficiently. There's also a space here to list any previous employment or roles, which will be really good for you to have the start and end dates of things to refer back to. Anytime you need to add an additional row, this instruction will show you how. There's a section on your supervision and evaluation. You will be given an evaluator, and you will be evaluated by, it could be a principal, assistant principal, department head, etc. And it's good to keep track of what the dates of your evaluation are, which type of plan are you on, which year of the cycle you're on, so that you know exactly how you're being evaluated and when. The next section asks you to fill in your DESE licensure information. This is so important to have written down so that when you call Human Resources and you reach out to anyone in the office, you can refer to this and we can take a look at exactly what you have here. You can also fill in your MTEL information. And if you're someone who's certified by another organization, or you have other accreditation that is different than DESE, you can add those things in here. There's an area to list your licensure goals. So You may be a teacher in one area or content area. Maybe you want to be dual licensed in another content area. Maybe you're a teacher who's with us on a waiver or an emergency license, and your goal is to get a professional license. You can list those licensure goals right here. This next area will become very important when you reach out to human resources about obtaining licensure, obtaining additional licensure. If you list out the action steps that you have taken when you call human resources or you meet with someone about your waiver or your emergency license, it's important that you can quickly access all of the action steps you've taken so that we can really efficiently advocate for you with DESE. Next, there's information on the mentoring program, which you'll be hearing more about in the coming months. And then there's a section on your long-term goals. So as a new hire to the district, you may be interested in another position down the road. Maybe you want to be an assistant principal. Maybe you want to be a focused instructional coach or a curriculum specialist or, some other career aspiration. So it's great to put down some things that you're thinking about for your career here. And as you talk with your evaluator and your administrators and human resources, we can help guide you towards those things and those areas that interest you. There's also a section for an annual reflection. This is a great thing to do at the end of the year. How did this year go? What are you thinking about your career? What professional development are you interested in? How do you want to continue to grow and add to your own career? So consider filling in all of those pieces, but definitely start with the pieces that are most important to you right now. And then please make sure you share that with us via email. The very bottom of the document just has areas for you to put important contact information. We started this for you, but you can add additional things. Next, I want to explain how you access your Worcester Public Schools account, which gives you access to your email and your employment information and lots of other things that we use here. So to do this, you're going to navigate to teamonline.org. And this is the employee portal where you can access your pay stub, you can edit and view your user profile and your account information, your emergency contacts. You can see the balance of your sick days, your personal time, etc. So the first time you come into the district, this is the first place you need to go when accessing your account. So from that home screen, you're going to see two tabs at the top. You're going to see WPS username and you're going to see WPS email address. When you click on email address, it's going to ask you to type in your email address. It is typically your last name and first initial at worcesterschools.net. And there's an example of that right here in the explanation. If yours doesn't seem to be last name, first initial at worcesterschools.net, you can send an email to mailadmin at worcesterschools.net and they'll tell you what your email address is if you don't already know it. Now, the next step you need to take is to personalize your password because we've set a temporary password for you. The temporary password is your 8-digit birth date, 2 digits for the month, 2 digits for the day, 4 digits for the year, plus your first initial capitalized and your last name initial lowercase. So it gives an example right here in the documentation that you can see. So you're going to go ahead and put in your email address and your password, and then it's going to ask you to personalize your password. Please write your password down. If you forget your password, you have these slides. You know you can always go back to mailadmin at worcesterschools.net to write to them, let them know I'm locked out of my account. They'll reset your password for you, and they will help you. So this is the very first thing you need to do with technology as a new employee in the Worcester Public Schools. You won't be able to access any other tools before you do this. Clever is another portal that a lot of our employees and certainly students go to often. Clever is a single sign-on portal. Essentially, it's a page of bookmarks that take you out to a whole bunch of other places, but you only need to log into Clever once, and then you're able to go out to all of these other places without needing to log in for the most part. So students use this because they just need to log in on their Chromebooks once, and then they can use Clever to go out to a lot of other places. Staff uses this to access important tools and sites that you need for your employment, but also to share things to students and push out certain apps and learning tools to students as well. To navigate to Clever, you go to clever.com/in/Worcester, and you do sign in with your Worcester Public Schools account. So once you have your account set up, you'll be able to get into Clever, and then you'll see lots of other tools available to you. The first tool I want to tell you about that you're going to need to use is called Frontline Absence Management. It was formerly called ASOP. People will probably call it ASOP forever. Certainly, if you hear ASOP, it just means Frontline Absence Management. And this is a tool that you can access by going to ASOP online and say that you want to log in with your school single sign-on, or you can access it via Clever. This is where you would enter any absences, a sick day or a personal day or a family sick day. Please note that every school has a different policy on how you alert them that you will not be in the building that day. So to record your absences, you always need to enter it into ASOP because that's tied to payroll. But you also need to notify your school in whatever way they've indicated they would like you to notify them. Vector Solutions, which is more commonly called by its former name, TeachPoint, in our district. We have a lot of tools that are formerly called something, and that's how we refer to them. This is something else that you can access via Clever. And Vector Solutions, TeachPoint, is used for two purposes. It can be used to look up what professional development opportunities are available to you. So you can search the list of PD offerings that are coming up. You can sign up for them. And then when you go to that PD, you can log in your attendance, and then you'll receive credit for attending those professional development opportunities. This is also a place where your evaluator will communicate with you about your supervision and evaluation. So you will enter your annual goals here. Your evaluator may enter an observation report here, and then ultimately your evaluation. So it's a tool that we use for multiple purposes. Your schools will support you through doing all of those things that I just mentioned about TeachPoint. Atlas is our curriculum repository tool where curriculum maps, units, and lessons are stored by content area and grade level. This site is maintained by the Office of Curriculum and Professional Learning. There is a content area liaison for each content area, and they work with groups of teachers to build out units and lessons to put here for you as a resource. To access Atlas, when you go into Clever, you'll see the link for Atlas. And essentially what it is it's a password protected website. So it's not an app in itself. It's a website that is password protected so that we aren't sharing our district curriculum with the entire world. It is password protected. So when you see Atlas in Clever, you just put in the password WPS schools, and you'll have access to all of the content that's in here. One of the most important tools, in my opinion, having been a teacher for 20 years, is these curriculum maps. Our district is very large, which means we have a lot of mobility amongst our students. Students may start the school year in one school, but move to another school within the same district in the same year. So using the curriculum map ensures that students will have access to all the content throughout the year instead of, repeating the same units over and over and missing some content when they move from school to school. So if you have any questions about the curriculum content, you can reach out to the Office of Curriculum and Professional Learning. The Worcester Public Schools uses Google for our communication and productivity tools. And you have a premium account for that. So this is where you would find your email by going to gmail.com and logging in with your Worcester Public Schools account. You also have access to Google Drive, which is where you can store and organize and share files amongst colleagues, grade level colleagues, content area colleagues, and so forth. There is a Google Calendar that is used to schedule meetings for students and with other adults. Google Slides and Google Forms are often used to create assignments for students, and of course, Google Docs for word processing. The Google for Education Teacher Center is really great if you want to learn more about it. So I did link it out over here. There is an opportunity for any staff member to become Google certified. There's a Google Teacher Level 1, there's Google Teacher Level 2, and then there's a Google Certified Trainer opportunity. So if that's something you're interested in, then definitely check out that link. So you can get started with Google by going to mail.google.com or gmail.com and logging in with your Worcester Public Schools account. You can also access a lot of these tools through Clever, of course. WooEDU is a tool that our classroom teachers will use on a regular basis. I want everyone to be aware of what WooEDU is. It is our student information system, and it's powered by Infinite Campus. So maybe in the past you've used something like Aspen or PowerSchool. It's very similar. So it's our student information system where school staff can look up information about a student. It's where teachers will take attendance every day and at the secondary level every period. It's where teachers will enter grades. There is a grade book associated with WooEDU where teachers can find their teaching schedules and so forth. Students and families also have access to WooEDU via app or web. So there's a specific login for students and a specific login for families. School secretaries typically help families get connected, and Infinite Campus WooEDU is supported by the Ed Tech office and by the IT office together. So if you have any questions about WooEDU, you can send them to wooedu@worcesterschools.net. And someone will get back to you and help you. Again, this is a tool that teaching staff has access to, but I want everyone to be aware of it. Lastly, I want you to be aware that if you are new to using a MacBook, all educators in the district have access to a MacBook. If you are new to using a MacBook and you're not quite comfortable with it yet, the EdTech office has created a self-paced module on how to use the MacBook for professional purposes in the district. So if you click on this icon or you click on this underlined link here, it will take you out to the self-paced module that you can take a look through just to familiarize yourself with the MacBook and get comfortable. It's been a pleasure to share these onboarding details with you as you join us here in the Worcester Public Schools. I'm entering my 26th year in the Worcester Public Schools, and as someone who has been a teacher and has held many roles, I just want to say that the work that you're doing is so important, and we're so happy that you are here with us. If you have questions, please feel free to email HR@worcesterschools.net, and someone will get back to you.